this is Munson with Munson Music. I'm going to talk about how you can play a song called Drunk on a Plane by Dierks and Bentley. And we ended up cabling this on 2nd fret to kind of match the recording. But we'll walk through a couple things in root position. We're going to start on it with this cool little lead lick, actually kind of hear on mandolin in the background. I thought this would kind of make a cool little intro lick where you could play open B, and then open G, and then open B, open G, and then you could go to 3rd fret on the B string, and then the open G, and then 3rd on the B, and then open G. So we're going to kind of follow those notes. It's kind of that O, 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 3, O, 3, O, 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 3, O, 3, O. And you could throw in some bass notes if you want to kind of back that up with some basses. You could add in 3rd fret on the low E string, kind of support those first notes. And I'm kind of doing this hybrid picking, so I'm using my pick for my basses and kind of fingers to kind of play the other notes of the lick. And then you could go to the 3rd fret on the A string and kind of do that same lick, actually. Kind of dig on that. That might be kind of a cool way to kind of intro the tune. Now the chords that would kind of back that lick up, let's start on a G major chord. And when we play G major, first finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E 3rd, 3rd finger on the high E 3rd fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord. It sounds really, really happy. Now you may also want to think about putting a 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working that for your G major. And then from the G, we'll be going to a C major chord. We'll play C major. First finger goes to the B on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the A string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord. It sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about lifting off the 1st finger, kind of making that a C major 7, or you could add in the pinky on the B string 3rd and kind of make that a C major 9 and kind of say some stuff around the C chord. Or another way to play C major 9 would be doing 1st finger on the D 2nd, 2nd finger on the A 3rd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working the A string to the high E string would kind of sound a C major 9. And there's a couple different strumming options you may want to think about through the tune. Actually, you could even work kind of an 8 down count and kind of add in a little bit of right hand music, kind of make that a little bit sneaky. That could be cool. G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, C. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, down. So we took the G and just tried that a lot. You know, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. So we tried that through the intro. You have the G, start off with that same idea, kind of that G, C twice, and then we go to an E minor chord. We play E minor. First finger goes to the A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the D 2nd fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about putting the 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working the E minor 7 that way. And then from the E minor, we go to a D major chord. We play D major. First finger goes to the G on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord and sounds really happy. Now you may also want to dig on kind of lifting off the 2nd finger. Always a dangerous finger to lift. That makes a D sus2. Or you could add in the pinky on the high E 3rd for a D suspended chord and kind of say some things around the D chord. And then from the D we go back to our C chord, and then we have kind of a big D as kind of a hit at the very end of our verse. So we tried that with our down, down, up, down, up. We have the G, C, G, C, E minor, B, C, then kind of a big D. And then from there, then we're repeating that twice and then going into our main chorus. And our chorus starts on the G, and then we go to C, and then we go to our E minor chord, and then you'll hear this cool little hit actually where you may want to do the C. If you're doing the down count, you may want to do kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the C, and then go to the D for the last 2. C, D is kind of a hit. Or if you're doing the down, down, up, you may want to do the down, down, up on the C, and then hit a D chord on the last down. Now that seems really tricky too. You could just stay on the C chord. But if we tried it that way, you'd have the G, C, E minor, parts and kind of mixing some things up a little bit for our solo. Now the weird part is to play along with Dierks, instead of starting on a G chord, you're starting on an A major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 2nd fret, then now your G is really an A major chord, and your C is really a D major chord, and your E minor is really an F sharp minor chord, and your D major is really an E major chord. But you may want to kick it off with kind of that intro, like kind of that oh, 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 3, 3, oh. Kind of working that with the basses could be very cool. Or you could even just kind of work that as kind of the chord idea. So kind of working that G, C, we're doing the down, down, up, down, G, C. And then from that intro, then we'll be going into our first verse. So our G, C, G, C, E minor, D, C. Then we got a big D hit, and then we get right back into the G. Down, down, up, down, C, G, C, E minor, D, C. And then kind of our big D hit to lead us into our first chorus. And if we tried that way, we'd have kind of that G, C, E minor, and kind of that C hit, C down, up, D, G, C, E minor, C down, down, up, D, G, E minor, C. Then have a big D hit, and then from there, then we go back into our intro part. And one other thing I think about adding to the song though is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you can throw in a bass for the chord. So the G, you'd have the low E for the bass. On the E minor, you'd have the low E for the bass. On the C, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the D, you'd have the D for the bass. So we tried that intro with kind of a bass down, up, down, up. You'd have G with low E bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, C with an A bass. And then from there, then we're going into our next verse. So we tried that with basses. Our G, C, G, C, E minor, low E bass, D, C. We have our big D hit to lead into our second chorus. Which on our second chorus, we kind of have this G, E minor, C, D tag twice. So we kind of start off with the G, C, E minor, C, D, G, C, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, C, D, second chorus, then we'd be going into our solo part, kind of mixing up a couple things. So we got our E minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, and then from there, then we'll be going into our last verse. So our G, C, G, that's the basics of how you can strum through Drunk on a Plane by Dierks Bentley. So good luck.